We're somewhat obsessed with celebrities in this day and age, lionising the rich and famous to the point that it's hard to believe any celebrity would ever be held for actual substantial jail time.
Look at how good they look by you guys. How fun.
As Donald Trump once boasted, he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and not lose any voters.
I'm really rich.
Depressingly, he might just be right, but despite celebrity being something of a get-out-of-jail-free card, not all have gotten out free. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and here are 10 celebrities you had no idea went to prison. Number 10, James Brown. The godfather of soul and vocal supporter of Taking It to the Bridge, James Brown may have been the boss, but that didn't keep him out of the pokey. In 1988, he was arrested twice, once in May for drugs and weapons charges, and the other, more severe, in September he committed assault with a pistol and a shotgun in Georgia, leading to a high-speed police chase which eventually ended with 3 tires on his car being shot out. He was sentenced to over 6 years, but served less than half of it in prison. Number 9, Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars certainly fulfilled the latter part of the title Doo-Wops and Hooligans when he was arrested in Las Vegas in 2010 for possession of cocaine. Also, what is a doo-wop? He didn't spend long behind Bruno bars, having convinced the officers that he'd never done cocaine before, a statement which Mars had later confessed was untrue. He paid $2,000 in fines and completed 200 hours of community service.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Number 8, Stephen Fry. Surely not the treacle-voiced national treasure and champion of eccentric knowledge. Unfortunately so. Today's quite interesting fact is that Stephen Fry was once arrested at 17 for stealing the credit card of a family friend and going on a spending spree. He was arrested in Swindon and spent 3 months in Whatculture prison, an appropriately whimsically named jailhouse. Number 7, Yasmine Bleeth. Famous for being a cast member on swimsuit-clad jiggle festival Baywatch and a personal favourite of Joey and Chandler.
How could anyone not be in love with Yasmine Bleeth?
Yasmine Bleeth ran into a lot of trouble with the law for drug offences in the early noughties. She had checked into rehab in 2000, but a year later was arrested for possession and driving under the influence. She spent only a single night in jail and was sentenced to 2 years probation and 100 hours of community service. Number 6, Christian Slater. Speaking of unfortunate drug problems, Christian Slater's had a series of brushes with the law and most of them were under some sort of influence. In 1989, he was arrested for a DUI and assault. In 1994, he brought a loaded gun onto an airplane, which is not the most scholarly of ideas. And in 1997, he was jailed for 90 days for assaulting his then ex-girlfriend, and the police officer called to break it up. As he was under the influence of drugs, he was forced into rehab after his jail spell. Number 5, Frank Sinatra. Mickey Blue Eyes is a film about mobsters. Old Blue Eyes is the nickname for Frank Sinatra, and that's all the parallels that I'm legally allowed to draw, other than by saying that in 1998 the FBI released a 1,300-page file on him and his potential ties to organised crime. Speculation aside, the man who sang My Way was actually arrested for a crime way back in 1938 in New Jersey. The crime? Seduction. Seriously, a somewhat archaic law designed to punish scoundrels for ruining the reputation of unmarried ladies. It later turned out that the woman in question was married, so the cops went, okay, and arrested him for adultery instead. Number 4, Paul McCartney. Of all the times when McCartney could have been arrested, it wasn't with the Beatles, but instead when he was part of Wings, which feels like a huge missed opportunity. While on tour to Japan in 1980, he was arrested for having 8 ounces of marijuana while flying back into Narita Airport. Initially faced with the possibility of a 7-year sentence, fortunately, they could work it out, and he only served 9 days. Number 3, Bill Gates. Bill Gates has all of the money. You know money? Yeah, Bill Gates has all of that. Ironic for a man who invested in G4S, a company that runs prisons, but Gates has been arrested twice in his life, in 1977 and 1989, both for traffic offences. I mean, seriously though, look at this mugshot. One of the richest men on God's green earth, and he looks like Adam Pacitti. Number 2, Tim Allen. Before he became a comedian, Tim Allen was a drug smuggler. No, seriously, I 100% mean that. Buzz Lightyear, Santa Claus, this guy was a drug smuggler. In 1978, at the tender age of 25, Tim Allen, going by his birth name Tim Allen Dick, stop giggling at the back, was arrested for smuggling cocaine through a Michigan airport. He qualified for life imprisonment, but had his sentence reduced to 5 years after naming all the names he could think of. After he was released, he began a new career, smuggling laughs out of people's mouths. Number 1, Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark, you naughty lad. Before Transformers, heck, before even the Funky Bunch, Wahlberg was growing up mean in Boston. By 13, he was in a gang and had developed an addiction to cocaine. At 16, he beat up 2 Vietnamese men in racially motivated attacks. One man hit with a stick so hard he was knocked out, and another punched so hard that Wahlberg believed he'd left the man blinded. For the crimes, he was charged with attempted murder and sentenced to 2 years, though he was let out after only 45 days. He claims that this prison spell is what turned his life around, but damn Wahlberg, you scary. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.